Hey guys, good morning. Today we're going to do some listening and speaking practice with this famous story, Escape from Alcatraz. Okay, so please listen to the story or listen and read, and then in your audios, you guys will retell the story, retell the most important details of the story in about 3 minutes, okay, just from memory. And I've put some key vocabulary at the end of the story, so key vocabulary and details at the end of the story. So anyway, here we go with the story. Alcatraz was a famous prison on an island in San Francisco Bay. It was known as one of the toughest and most secure prisons in the world. It was surrounded by cold, dangerous waters, making it nearly impossible to escape. Some of the most dangerous criminals in America, like Al Capone, were sent there. Many people believed that no one could ever escape from Alcatraz. But in June 1962, three prisoners did something incredible. They escaped from Alcatraz, and no one knows for sure what happened to them. The man who came up with the escape plan was Frank Morris. He was very smart and had escaped from other prisons before. Frank worked with two brothers, John and Clarence Anglin. The three of them were sent to Alcatraz because they had tried to escape from other prisons. They decided to team up and make a plan to break out of Alcatraz. The plan started in late 1961. Frank and the Anglin brothers began digging through the walls of their cells using spoons they took from the prison cafeteria. They had to work very slowly and quietly so the guards wouldn't notice. Each night, after everyone else went to sleep, they would dig away at the walls. To hide the holes they were making, they covered them with cardboard that looked like the rest of the wall. As they kept digging, they made a tunnel that led to a secret corridor behind their cells. This corridor would help them reach the roof, but getting out of the building was only the first step. They also had to find a way to get off the island and cross the cold, rough waters of San Francisco Bay. The three men had a plan for that too. They made a raft and life vests out of raincoats they got from other prisoners. They carefully sewed the raincoats together to make the raft, and they used a small pump they built to fill it with air. When the raft was ready, they hid it in the corridor until they were ready to escape. On the night of June 11, 1962, the three men put their plan into action. After the prison lights went out, they crawled through the holes they had dug and into the secret corridor. From there, they climbed up some pipes to the roof. They carried their raft and supplies with them and quietly made their way across the roof, being careful to avoid the guards. After they reached the edge of the roof, they climbed down to the ground using a large pipe. Then they hurried to the shore where they pumped up their raft and set out into the dark, cold water. The next morning, the guards discovered that the three prisoners were missing. They found that the prisoners had left fake heads in their beds to trick the guards during the night. A huge search began, but the three men were never found. A few days later, a deflated raft and some of their belongings were found on a nearby island. but no one knows if they made it there or if the items washed ashore by accident. The official report said that the men probably drowned in the bay because of the strong currents and cold water. But because their bodies were never found, many people believe that they might have survived. Over the years, people have claimed to have seen the men or heard stories about them living new lives under different names, but no one can say for sure. In 2003, the FBI looked into the case again after receiving a letter that claimed to be from one of the Anglin brothers. The letter said that they had survived the escape and were living quietly somewhere else. But in the end, the FBI couldn't prove if the letter was real or not. The escape from Alcatraz is one of the most amazing prison breaks in history. The story of Frank Morris, John Anglin, and Clarence Anglin has inspired books, documentaries, and even a movie called Escape from Alcatraz starring Clint Eastwood. Whether they lived or died, their escape remains a mystery and a symbol of the human spirit's desire for freedom.